work better. Right, let's just check if we're live on YouTube.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll.
Okay, so we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. There was a bit of an outage there. We back in black. I don't know. We were talking about bikes. We lost the flow there.
So,
but anyway,
so
it was good fun.
So just carry on with the whole automotive theme. Like,
Yes.
what's your take on electric cars and electric bikes?
Well, I mean, besides the fact that they sound like shit.
You mean they don't sound like anything?
No, well, they sound like sewing machines.
Does that sound remind you of a sewing machine?
Well, it sounds like a drone, really.
Okay.
Sewing machine, drone.
Yeah.
Zzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't inspire me.
Would you consider getting an electric bike or electric car?
Well, I suppose eventually I'm going to have no choice. Hopefully I'm too old by then to have to make the choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, think about it this way: the technology might evolve to the stage that you might not have to drive. You just push in the map, push in the address, and
where's the fun in that? I mean, if you're going for a bike ride and you climb onto your bike and you just go push the button and then it takes you there, and all you got to do is check up on your Instagram on the way there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no fun.
Yeah. Well, maybe when you're 90, your perspective will change.
Yeah, well, maybe then, but I'm just saying in general for people.
Yeah.
For riding a bike that's electric, self-balancing, can get to its destination without you actually. What's the point? In my view, where's the fun in that?
I think, safety, reliability, and,
yeah. Well, if you want safety and reliability, you know what you do? Stay on the couch.
That could be quite dangerous.
Well, no more dangerous than climbing on your self-driving
that's true.
motorcycle.
That's true. Okay, so we're done with electric. What about hydrogen?
Hey?
What about hydrogen?
Well, look, I mean, so I suppose if one's been following the narrative of sustainable energy in vehicles,
Yeah.
or renewable energy in vehicles, let's put it that way. I suppose there's been two areas of development. One's been electric cars run battery, and then there's the hydrogen fuel cell technology that's also being developed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I read about it, I'd like to say many years ago, but there was a stage where I used to buy the Popular Mechanics on a regular basis. And I think they had a thing in there about it. And the biggest problem with hydrogen was the safety around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I mean, pressurizing that tank to 200 atmospheres. I mean, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? Yeah. And the other thing is transporting it. You need to keep it under high pressure and temperature controlled and all that kind of stuff. So, you just got the feeling that even though the technology was great because it's got no sort of, the byproduct is water.
Yeah. There's no emissions.
There are no emissions. You think, oh, that's great. But the difficult thing is the safety around transporting it. And how much does that come into the price of operating or having an infrastructure that supports hydrogen fuel cell cars?
Yeah.
So, because I know I think it was in California or something, BMW America were doing a trial where I think they either had a 7 Series or a 5 Series hydrogen fuel cell car. I'm probably going back 3-4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were testing it there. So, I mean, I don't know what the results of their test were, but yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts? Because I know you've spoken about hydrogen fuel cells.
So
this is the way to go.
It's
one of the ways to go.
It's one of the ways to go. I mean, the biggest issue with electric vehicle is the range and refueling or recharging. With hydrogen fuel cell, you can basically pop over at the station and just as long as you have the correct infrastructure in place, top it up just like you would top up the petrol or
Fuel
fuel-based
cell
fuel-based vehicle, you know, and like 5 minutes later you're off on the way and you have another like 600 kilometer range
on the hydrogen.
on the
fuel cell.
hydrogen. Yeah, so
Yeah.
like that's one big
One
advantage.
advantage. Yeah.
So like what I'm seeing is that like the world is evolving like in different ways. So you can see like Asian countries, like South Korea and Japan, they managed to get the hydrogen fuel cell and infrastructure behind it right. So the sales of new greener vehicles like are dominated by the fuel cell vehicles. 9 out of 10 cars, with one being electric.
Yeah.
When you look at North America, it's the other way around. It's nine electric vehicles to one fuel cell vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm wondering which way the Europe goes. Europe will go. They might also split depending, like different countries will go for different tech. But it would be interesting, like interesting place. Well, interesting thing to like keep track of and see how things are actually evolving.
Yeah. Well, so there was this article that came up on the news recently about hydrogen.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden I started seeing stuff coming through on the news of new hydrogen cell fuel cell cars. Like all of a sudden there was like a little bit more talk about it than previously. And I was saying, okay, I mean, it's obviously anecdotal and relative, but all of a sudden I started getting these things coming through on my phone. Probably Google's listening to me again. And so it's difficult to say whether there's been an uptick in information in the news on hydrogen, or is it just that Google has decided that Andrew spoke about hydrogen cars and now we're going to feed him with all the shit that he needs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I saw this coming through, and there's this company now that has got around the risk part around transporting hydrogen. And so what they're doing is they're actually transporting it in the form of ammonia.
That is interesting.
Yeah. And that's why all of a sudden there seems to be, because, they were saying the reason why hydrogen has been so hard to transport is because it needs this low volumetric energy density, which means it must be stored at high pressure, extremely high pressure.
Yeah.
So, and the solution is to bring ammonia into the picture. So the liquid ammonia has been being made up of 1 nitrogen atom and 3 hydrogen. Has a 45% higher volumetric density than hydrogen.
So it's safer to transport.
Yeah, so it's safer transport. So I also saw that they were saying that all the ports around the world are starting to get ready to be able to store ammonia.
Okay.
So I would imagine you could be able to transport it on some sort of tanker and then get into a port and then offload it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like that's a boost for the whole hydrogen fuel cell industry. In a sense that it makes it a little bit easier for other countries that might not have looked at it because of the issues with transport.
But wouldn't you be like aiming to set up your own hydrogen facility?
Yeah, I suppose.
Instead of like transporting it halfway across Atlantic.
Dude, I don't know.
Hydrogen is not like hydrocarbons, right? It's not like certain geographies are well endowed on hydrocarbons and certain are not. So like everyone has access to hydrogen as long as they have access to tech.
Here's the things. I don't even know where they get the hydrogen from. I mean, how do they make ammonia? How do they manufacture?
It's a good question.
Gonna have to fucking Google it.
Yeah.
How is ammonia manufactured industrially? We'll go the industrial route rather than the homegrown route. Don't make this in the backyard of your house. So it is manufactured industrially.
Just for the
by-
reference, we're just looking into like how to manufacture ammonia on industrial scale, not ammonium nitrate. Just
fertilizer,
clarification.
fertilizer
Clarification,
plants.
yeah.
Yeah. So so it's a mixture of dry nitrogen and hydrogen gases in the ratio of 1:3 by volume is compressed to about 200 to 300 atmospheres and is passed over an iron catalyst at a temperature of 723 Kelvin. Ammonia being formed is continuously removed by liquefying it. Okay, that's interesting. So, how do you get a
high temperature, high pressure?
Yeah, we're making diamonds now.
Well, we're not dealing with carbon. We're dealing with
Hydrogen.
hydrogen and nitrogen.
Yeah.
And we're
So-
using iron as a catalyst.
Mm. So, what's dry nitrogen, by the way? Dry nitrogen gas. How dry is dry nitrogen? Okay.
Pretty dry.
The case for
Super dry.
yeah. Okay. But I mean, the thing is, like, where do you get dry? And I mean, what's dry hydrogen? Because they said, it's a mixture of dry hydrogen, dry nitrogen and hydrogen gases. So where do you get hydrogen gas from?
It's a rabbit hole, guys. We're going down the rabbit hole.
Hydrogen gas. Look, it's one of those days.
Gotta
Things
go
are
down that.
things are not going according to plan. The best way to deal with that kind of situation is just to
Go with the
lean
flow.
into it.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. Okay, so hydrogen can be produced from diverse and domestic resources. Currently, most hydrogen is produced
Fossil fuels.
from fossil fuels. Oh my. As Janice in Friends would say, oh my God.
I think somebody's having a light bulb moment.
No, well, I mean, the all the roads lead back to fossil fuels, dude.
Yeah, hydrocarbons.
Yeah, except the sun, But I mean, the sun's a hydrogen bomb.
So check
isn't it?
electricity
Hydrogen.
from the grid or from the renewable sources such as wind, solar, geothermal, or biomass is also currently used to produce hydrogen.
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But I mean, it's quite ironic that all the roads lead back to fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah, that's interesting. Natural gas and solar. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to read up on this. I'm interested to know how they do this. How do you use wind to make hydrogen?
So, like, overall, what would you prefer? Like, what would you prefer? Like, going back to our conversation, would you prefer a fuel cell vehicle or an electric vehicle?
Neither.
You have to pick one of the two.
Okay.
It's like your only third option is not neither. Your only third option is
A
like
hybrid. Okay, I'll go out for a hybrid.
No, nuclear.
No, not nuclear.
How would you like to have a nuclear reactor on your bike? Like a mini
No.
one?
No. I mean, does that mean that you can use it as a nuclear weapon as well? Nuclear warhead.
No. But I'm sure if shit goes wrong,
Yeah. No, so I mean, if I had to choose, I
like,
suppose the
who
most
do you
comfortable
call once your reactor starts leaking?
Ghostbusters. I should do. I don't know. Pelendaba. Hey, the national. What's it called? What's the agency that deals with nuclear? called?
Nexa.
Is it Nexa?
Nexa, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll call Nexa and say, hey, listen, I think I've got a bit of a leak
My
here.
bike developed a little bit of
Yeah. Yeah. My rats are starting to glow in the dark. I don't know what to do. So if I had to choose, I suppose the most comfortable one would be the electric car.
Okay, so
But
you
that's not
don't
to say-
like the idea of like
No,
a
not
fuel
that I
tank
don't.
being pressurized to 200 atmospheres
No, not.
and sitting on top of it.
Yeah. Some dude standing next to it with a cigarette going, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the hydrogen cell cars. I suppose, like battery technology is something that's easy for my head to get around and say,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool, that's safe. And I wonder how much of that comes into play when marketing these vehicles.
I think a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Price,
Yeah.
availability of, I suppose electric vehicle, I can come home and plug it into my house
Yeah.
to charge the car.
Yeah.
Hydrogen is like, I can't do that. I've got to.
No, you can't. You can't.
But I suppose it's like a combustion engine car, like you have to go to the petrol station to fill your car up. So I don't know.
So what's an interesting thing? So the idea that a lot of Asian countries are playing around is basically domestic scale electricity generation using fuel cells as well.
Yeah.
So
hydrogen fuel cell,
basically you have like a fuel cell, like a 5-liter fuel cell on the wall of your house or your apartment, and the guys just pull up and just refill it like every so often.
Okay. But here's I've just found something to do with South Africa.
Yeah.
And what do they say here? They say here that South Africa have established a research, development, and innovation strategy on hydrogen known as the Hydrogen South Africa. And they said that they have been using fuel cells for schools. What do they say here? Hydrogen cells have already been successfully deployed to provide electricity for schools and to field hospitals.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I didn't know that. Okay.
So a lot of the different mining companies are also playing around with the idea of like using hydrogen fuel cells to power mechanical equipment like scrapers and winches, like underground. Maybe not winches, but like scrapers and like autonomous mining vehicles type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. It
Because
helps
of the high energy density of the fuel cell.
Okay. Well, look, I suppose this is the nice thing about talking about these kind of subjects is like I start learning stuff about what's happening. I mean, I didn't even realize that there was an initiative in South Africa
So
looking at hydrogen.
Anglo's basically announced the construction of the Hydrogen Valley.
Okay.
I think somewhere outside of Gauteng. But do you know why Anglo specifically is interested in that?
No. Enlighten me.
What goes into the hydrogen fuel cell?
Hydrogen?
Oh yeah, besides that.
I don't know. Platinum?
Platinum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah. Lovely. Very, very good, sir. Yeah. Okay, so hydrogen, the fuel for South Africa's green future.
I think your mouse just gave up on you.
I think maybe it might have been a battery problem. You reckon?
For sure.
Hey?
For sure.
Talking about electricity and fuel cells, I think my car just ran out of fuel. Let me go get...
Time to pop another battery in.
Yeah, you talk amongst yourself while I hobble and go find another battery.
Okay, cool.
For my moose. I wonder if they're going to make hydrogen-powered mice.
No, just nuclear-powered.
Nuclear-powered.
Have a little mini nuclear generator.
Like I said, today's going to be one of those days.
Yeah. Our host is having one of those days. But it's okay. It's going to get better. So, how's everyone doing?
My green screen having a moment there. All I needed to happen was me miss the chair, and then between my knee and my broken back.
I don't know. It would have been funny.
No. How can you laugh at my expense? Dude?
No, I'm not laughing at your expense. And I'm not laughing at your misfortune.
It's going to be one of those days. These batteries are flat. Rechargeable batteries are flat.
Try to swap them around. All you need to do is just to squeeze some juice out of them. And try to switch them on. Okay, it doesn't switch on. It's just...
Never mix batteries.
Really? Can you explain the rationale behind that?
I have no idea. Well, all I can say is one of two things is happening. Either the batteries are flat or the mouse is fucked.
Have you thrown it against the wall?
Not yet.
Not yet. Is that still coming?
Well, at this rate, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. Happened. Okay.
Dude, today.
Are we still streaming?
Everything is jinxed, dude. Now all of a sudden the mouse is working.
Yeah.
Okay, while it's working, let me go double check that everything is still streaming. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, we're still streaming, unfortunately.
No, that's really cool.
Okay,
That's really
Vumatel, can you just turn the internet off now? It'll be so much better. Then I don't have to punish myself for another
No, come on.
5 minutes. Well, yeah, so hydrogen fuel cells. I actually wanted to see what hydrogen fuel cell cars. Let's see what cars are available. So I mean, just talking about that, the other thing that I'd read somewhere was the sort of like carbon neutral, the amount of the years that it takes for an electric car to become carbon neutral.
How many years?
Well, I at the first time I saw it said something like 7 years. I
Okay.
tried to find the article again
Yeah.
to verify what I'd read,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find the article.
They quickly deleted it.
Yeah, they quickly deleted
saw one
it,
view.
yeah.
They're like, oh.
Yeah, but I mean, the reality is that they're saying that the input into manufacturing an electric vehicle, people forget that there is a carbon footprint associated to that, which in some cases it's slightly higher than building a combustion engine vehicle. But it's just something one has to consider
Okay.
when
But
you
with the combustion engine vehicle, your carbon footprint just starts with the car, and then it's like once you switch it on for the first time, it just carries on, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's still. Oh, look there! There's Lester.
What was that?
Okay, so let's make some changes here quickly
We're gonna.
while we've got Lester here.
We're gonna
There we
add-
go. Hello,
we're gonna-
Lester.
We're gonna transition.
You guys, wow, look at this.
Wow,
I
look
wasn't
at
here
this.
and you've had 2 people watching.
Hey, dude, it's been one of those mornings. Fucking everything has been going wrong.
Andrew has been fighting with the mouse.
My
the
mouse
the
doesn't
mouse has
work.
been fighting with Andrew. Andrew has been fighting with door frames in the morning.
Yeah, my PC had a moment and disconnected the stream.
It was nice.
But this
It's
is
a-
a technical
it's a
issue.
dog
It's
show.
just traditional. It's traditional. So this has become an aggressive podcast. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's testing my big match temperament, my emotional EQ, my emotional quotient.
So Lester, just talking about like electric versus fuel cell based vehicles. Like, do you have any
Yeah.
preference?
Look, I like the performance on the electric cars, but I still, I don't. On a vehicle, I want it to sound guttural. I want it to sound like a machine,
Yeah.
and I'm just not getting that.
I don't think you're gonna
fr-
get. I don't think you're gonna get any. Like you're not gonna get that guttural sound with a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. I think, like Andrew
No,
was
you're not.
saying,
No.
they're both gonna sound like little drones or little like electric motors.
Yeah, and that's just it's like something out of a
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah.
I think they need to make a noise. They're a traffic hazard because people can't hear them,
Yeah.
right?
Has there
Actually-
been some like accidents or incidents in UK? Like, because I'm pretty sure that you guys have some electric vehicles, quite a few of them on the road.
Oh yeah. Electric vehicles are quite common now. Yeah, but even I think back 15 years or whenever, when the Prius first came out,
Yeah.
yeah, people were getting knocked down all over the place because these things used to sneak around the corner. You didn't hear them coming.
Yeah, they just accelerate like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like the performance. I've been in a couple of Teslas,
Yeah.
and they are awesome.
Would you
Yeah,
consider getting
not just
one?
the operating system on the dashboard is pretty cool as well, but I just, yeah, they are cool, but they need to make a noise. If you've got a
Yeah.
performance like that, make a noise.
What if they
All right,
made
this
a
is before
farting
we get
nose?
into the green credential situation,
What
which
if
I'm
they
sure
made
you
a
guys would have
farting
touched on.
nose?
Well, the app actually hasn't. Well, the car,
Yeah.
it actually has a farting app. So
Yeah.
you can actually make farting noises around the car,
Yeah.
depending on, you can choose which seat, the driver or
I
the
think
back
that's so
row.
cool. I think that's so
Yeah,
cool.
I did that in a taxi in Amsterdam to the driver's amusement. I said, you just focus on the road and I'll sort the entertainment out, thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, just talking about that, that's Lexus company vehicle that they've got at the office. They've got a hybrid.
Okay,
Right.
but it's a fuel. It's a conventional combustion engine hybrid, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's so it's half electric, half
Yeah.
combustion engine.
But not electric battery pack powered. It's got an electric motor, right?
Yeah, but it's got a battery pack in it.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it charges the battery.
Okay.
Yeah. So
With a 2-liter engine, right?
no, I think it's a 3-liter engine.
4-liter engine.
No, maybe it's not 4-liter. I think it's 3-liter engine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That makes sense going
no, man, it's
electric.
the top of the range Lexus
Yeah.
hybrid. Anyway, when that thing drives less than 60 k's an hour, it uses the battery.
Yeah.
The battery pack. It was pulling into the parking lot the one day when I was walking from my car to the entrance. I didn't hear that vehicle coming.
You serious?
It was so quiet.
Wow.
Because I mean, it's not going at a speed where there's tire noise or road noise,
Yeah.
and there's no engine noise, and the motors are not whining because it's not
Accelerating or anything.
it's just cruising. It's just like
But isn't that nice?
no. Not a fan. I mean, besides the fact that I almost got knocked over. Yeah. Anyway,
I quite like the hybrid setup. The augmentation.
especially when it's a
of the power.
918 Porsche, right?
Mhm.
With the exhaust at the back, just behind your head.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's
you
pretending
go.
to be green, right? It's not actually green.
Well, I think people buy that because of the augmented power, not because they're pretending to be green.
Exactly.
Okay, that's true.
Because they have hooligan.
Or
mode.
they live in somewhere where the battery range is not great. Did you see that video clip where the guy had broken down on the side of the road? Well, broken down. He'd run out of battery in his Tesla.
No.
With the
And so he's trying to hitch a lift with a jerry can. And the guy stopped and going, so what's the jerry can for? He says, for fuel. Because I've run out of, my batteries have died. And the guy was like, what do you need a jerry can for? And this is an electric car. He says, yeah, I know. He's like, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. He said, okay, I'll show you. Opens his boot. He says, this happens a lot in these roads in America. He opens the boot and it's got a little Suzuki generator there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, so I was just looking at. I see Toyota's got a. I don't even know how you pronounce it. Myra, M-I-R.
Isn't that Mirai?
Mirai.
Mirai? Yeah.
Mirai. Yeah. There you
It
go.
looks like a Corolla, right?
Looks like a Corolla. Yeah, but it's hydrogen fuel cell. Fuel. Yeah. I had a moment. Let's just say I'm on strong medication at the moment, okay? And that's why. Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So there you go.
You
Wow.
need stronger medication.
Schedule 6.
Yeah. I need an upper.
Guys, I would go for
it's
like
the yawn for the downer.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would go for like a Tesla any day.
Why a Tesla? Because it's electric or because it's a Tesla?
Because it's electric and it's a Tesla.
No, but I mean, there are other
And
electric
you
cars.
can make farting sounds. I think it's just such a cool product, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you can park it with your phone. It's pretty
can
cool.
park it
It's
with
got
your
so much
phone.
cool stuff. It's got a bloody button called Ludicrous or Ludicrous Mode.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's just awesome.
Mm.
Did you guys see that? What was that? A Top Gear episode, or could have been the old Top Gear guys on Amazon, where they no, it was Top Gear. They basically took the people carrier Tesla down to a place where the what was it, the Mustang Club, or the yeah, it might have been the Mustang Club, and they all got their hot rods
Yeah.
out, and they took it for a drag race against the people carrier, sort of thing mum's taxi would look like.
Yeah.
And this guy put it in ludicrous mode and absolutely destroyed
Yeah.
destroyed the Ford.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, just talking about that and Mustangs, and the feeling you get between a combustion engine car and a electric car. I mean, you've seen the Ken Block thing where he takes that all-wheel drive Ford Mustang up Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it out.
I mean, yeah, eventually. How do you not say, well, I mean, imagine doing that video with an electric car. I think we need to do a spoof.
They wouldn't let you on the hill.
Well, I don't think you would make it to the top of the hill. You would run out of battery. You've run out of battery.
I think you'd make it.
Not if you're flooring it all the way up there.
I'm pretty sure. I think this is a challenge for the Cybertruck.
No. The Cybertruck's going to battle to go around the corners fast enough.
Yeah, it's just going to go over the edge.
Yeah, it's just going to go
Can't
over the
drift
edge.
it. It's not that
Yeah.
easy.
But I mean, the thing is, like, I think we need to do like a parody and take a Prius up Pikes Peak.
And get Toyota to sponsor it.
Yeah. And do the exact same video that Ken Block did, and let's just see what the sort of oomph is out of that thing. It's like, I mean, how do you not get like amazed by this turbo popping like this out the bonnet?
Yeah, the sound, the vibrations.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking, there's lots of tight turns and things, and the electric cars are heavy. And yes, they can handle, and they got acceleration, but straight line speed is what they're good at. And acceleration out of a corner, maybe, but there's so many twists, turns. You need a car that can drift and hold.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be too heavy.
Yeah, center of gravity. I mean, you saw that link that I sent. Did I send you the link about the electric Land Rover Defender?
I don't know. Did you?
I think I put it on the group.
Yeah, you did.
Weekend Craic group. But then I found another one where there's a guy that what he does, he actually takes classic cars and converts them into electric cars.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like,
E-Type Jag, I've seen.
Yeah, but like what? I mean, I don't know. No, well, I mean, you're gonna lose a lot of the sort of like about that car by taking out the engine and putting an electric motor in it. And I mean, it was so funny. I'm watching this video with this guy who's saying he's driving the Defender to the factory that made it. So he's going to go meet the guy that builds these things. And then, like, he's had this big thing and he's talking about it. It's got Tesla fuel cells, not fuel cells, batteries in it and all this kind of stuff and everything. He climbs into this Land Rover and he pulls off and it goes... I'm like, okay, I just lost it.
No, it's not. Doesn't. No.
Just doesn't have the same sort of like.
No, you're just going to upset people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a purist, but I'm definitely on that side of the fence when it comes to this.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, and I was saying like to Oleg earlier on, I suppose eventually it'll get to a point where you literally don't have a choice but to
look
buy
at Amsterdam,
vehicle.
right? Amsterdam, there is just electric cars. You're not allowed to have any other cars there.
Do you think London will get there as well?
Probably. They regularly update their. They're trying to reduce the carbon emissions in central London. So a lot of the, I mean, the buses are now electric or hydrogen cells.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to pay a severe fee if you depending on your carbon emissions in a certain zone. So yeah, it's been pushed that way, and they're going to stop selling traditional fossil fuel combustion engine type cars. They're going to stop selling them in
2035 or 2035 or something.
it might even be in the next few years.
You serious?
So I know diesel
Yeah.
was out by a certain time, and then
Wow.
combustion. I think
Yeah,
it was.
I think
it was
diesel's first.
2035. Yeah, I think it was 2035 that Boris said that there will be no more combustion engine cars manufactured, something like that. So, yeah.
And is that just UK or that's the whole Europe?
There's a common trend. I mean, Germany is the one I'm watching because they love their cars as well.
Yeah.
And they're not as strict, but it's the same chatters there. I mean, the Netherlands are very pro clean living, clean cars, clean everything.
Yeah.
And everything around there. So I suspect Belgium will go next. France, well, who knows what the French will do. But if Germany starts changing, there's a lot of car manufacture done in Germany. Let's see that will have a knock-on effect on the rest of Europe.
So Andrew pulled up an article which says 2030 petrol and diesel ban
In the UK.
Yeah.
in the UK.
Yeah. I have to get rid of my diesel car.
Best
It's already devalued. Diesel car values have just dropped.
That's fine. Then I can pick up one for a good price then.
Well, this is what I'm hoping. I can pick up an old Defender 110 maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do you think the infrastructure associated, like once Europe transitions to electric by like 2040, so the infrastructure that's required for the combustion engine vehicles will shrink and will be replaced by the infrastructure that's required to service the the electric vehicles?
It's a common discussion when people are talking about buying a car. Are they going to buy electric or traditional? And they always like, oh yeah, we should always try and do the good, clean, green thing. Let's not even get onto the life. How green is an electric car really? But the infrastructure is not there. Yes, the fuel cells and that whole energy system that drives the car and its recharging and its storage capacity, all that stuff has got a lot better in the last 10 years, and I expect that will continue to get more efficient. But there was never enough charging. But actually, Tesla invested in a lot of charging points to increase that infrastructure
around UK.
Yeah. Service stations, there was the problem where it was, you'd have your traditional pumps in the service stations on the highways, and they'd always have electric charging points as well. But quite often they were inefficient or out of order. So yeah, the infrastructure had a long way to go, and I think it's going to get there.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get to a point, if you're buying a house, you want to know not just what the broadband capabilities are in the area, you want to know if your house has got a charging point for your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see in a couple of malls here in Joburg, there are charging points for cars.
Which ones?
I think Hyde Park is one, and I think Santon is another.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they like for specific vehicles, like for the BMW?
I think the other one I saw was Mainland as well.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so you're gonna say,
like, are they for the specific vehicles? Because
I think they've standardized. Haven't they standardized on the plug points now?
Not sure. I know Tesla uses a very specific one,
but I'm sure you would be able to buy an adapter that would be it to.
Yeah.
I mean, it would only make sense that the car companies agreed on what the. But
the technology is changing. It's a bit like cell phones and the charging ports on the phone. Those cables kept changing over years because people wanted to charge faster, and I suspect that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Lester's got a good point.
It's a good point. But I mean think about the changing of the ports on the cell phones. Did they really have to change the orientation of the port to make it go faster?
I think they did.
Why?
I'm not sure, but like you could see the differences between like different generation of the iPhone chargers, and you can see the
Yeah, but you
difference.
can't talk about iPhone. Just talk about Samsung.
Okay, even the Samsung.
No, well,
Yeah.
no. The thing is that
Yeah, but it's
because
like that. But then you get different manufacturers of car. You get different manufacturers of cell phones. They're all going to want to
no,
adapt.
but what I'm saying let's just talk about Samsung because Samsung's a lot easier to follow what's happened there.
Yeah, their charging port has changed. Like the
Three
charging,
times.
huh?
3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Yeah. So no, but that's what I'm saying. Did they have to change the orientation? They went from micro USB to micro. What?
Micro USB.
It'd be B to C.
See, yeah.
Yeah. Did they have to do that to make it go faster? I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
so.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. Who knows?
don't think
But I think Lester's got a point. I think it's like those charging adapters for the vehicles will keep on evolving to basically charge them faster.
Possibly. But I mean,
we can't end up with different connectors. If we
But I
end up
mean,
with too
it's-
many, then that the infrastructure won't support that.
but
Yeah.
I mean,
then you're gonna have to carry your own adapter.
no. But listen, I'm
Or
thinking
Kawasaki
about it now.
generator for your boot.
No, but the question here is just going back. I mean, is it actually the connection, the adapter, that makes the difference, or is it the fact that, like, for instance, like they've upped the amperage on the charger itself?
Yeah,
What's the differentiating factor?
not sure.
Because they went from one amp to two amp to 3 amp now charges.
Yeah,
I would imagine the only thing that you need to make sure is that the gauge of the wire can carry that amperage. I don't think you need to change the connector per se. I don't know. Because I mean, the USB cable's got a specific standard, right?
yeah.
How do you get it to go faster? They don't go and change the USB standard, do they?
I think it
Yes.
became less. They did change the USB standard.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, on an existing one.
Yeah,
Okay, so I went from my Samsung S9
yeah,
to my S20.
yeah.
My S20 charges faster than my S9. They both use USB-C cables.
But they use different adapters, right? Different
chargers.
different charges. Yeah.
What's the difference between the charges? The
Amps.
amperage,
The amperage, yeah,
not the cable.
yeah, and the
cable's the
capacity
same.
for the phone to handle that amperage.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But what I'm saying is, it's
We're
not
getting
the
technical here.
it's not the adapter itself. No,
Yeah.
well, exactly. We are getting
Yeah.
technical, but
So
So can I blow your minds a bit? So
Yeah.
we've just opened a new data center in the Greater London area, and we've got a whole bunch of electric charging stations there. That's not the biggie. The biggie is we also put network ports on those chargers.
you
So
serious?
you're-
network boards,
Yeah.
so you can hack into it. Is that what you're saying?
No, which means because a lot of technology that we're going to see in our lifetime is coming to the cars we drive. There's so much coming that requires internet access, and there's a lot of data that's produced by the cars, which has to be offloaded somewhere. So rather than that just go through your mobile phone off to be stored somewhere, we can just download off your car while you're charging it.
Okay. So is that data that's going back to the manufacturer, or where does it go back to?
Yeah,
Wherever.
or
So
or
like
for
the
your apps.
manufacturers, you see,
Your
like,
car will have apps, right?
yeah.
Need to be
So
updated.
your apps need updating. They need decent connectivity
Mm.
for updates for whatever. So rather than just use the bandwidth on your phone, you now have a fiber cable plugging into a car.
Yeah. But I mean,
Wow.
it's like
That's amazing.
the whole sort of data privacy thing, just light bulb goes off in my head about, like when you buy the car and you start up the car and it's got the question is like, do you want to share anonymous data with the manufacturer of the car
Yeah.
so that they can improve their product?
Yeah, sure. but I'm thinking more of autonomous cars.
Okay.
And they need constant updates, they need traffic updates, they need a lot of information, and they share information about where they are.
Yes.
This is all key in the future. I mean, in the future, we're probably not going to buy cars to own anymore because it just
No.
won't be worthwhile, and all cars on the road will be owned by the car manufacturers, and we would just pay per use.
Yeah, call an app.
Yeah. So
Call it an
you
app.
will have the ability to retain your own data, but the car's actual operation will require a lot more data, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How would you feel comfortable riding in the car without the driver?
I think it's something you get used to. There's a Docklands Light Railway subway in London,
Yeah.
right, which is all automated. There's no so you can pretty much sit where the driver would sit and drive this train. The whole thing is done remotely, automatically. And it's a bit freaky sitting in this train and it starts hurtling towards a station and there's another train there in your side of the track, and you're like and the train just stops, so you get used to it.
Yeah.
It just becomes it just drives itself. Yeah.
So do you think the same is gonna happen with us? You get into the taxi and there's just no driver. It's just the taxi just takes you.
Yes, I think we'll get used to it. I think the newer generations, the younger generations, when they come up, we're so used to driving that we will naturally, if we're in a car, we will start pushing fake pedals, right? When we think we need to start braking and slowing and accelerating. But if the kids coming in now, they'll be like, oh, that's just how it works. It's fine.
Yeah, they'll just accept it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you think the same problem?
Did I tell you the story about kids? If you ask your kids now to go and push the doorbell, which finger do they use versus which finger do you use?
That's an interesting point.
I don't know. They use their thumb.
I would use an index finger.
Yeah,
Which
we
finger
tend
do
to
they
use our index finger. They use their thumb. When did that happen? It's because of mobile phones, game consoles, etc.
Yeah.
Now their dexterity has changed overnight without us even having an influence over it. So it'll happen without us even realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what amazes me is how quickly a 18-month or 2-year-old adapts to using a touchscreen device.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's like, like they can pick up the flipping iPhone or Samsung or whatever, and they can navigate around and find games and all that kind of stuff. It just blows my mind that they have the ability to just...
But did we not do that in our generation with computers compared to our parents?
Yeah, well, the VCR, yeah, absolutely.
The VCR.
Setting the, come on, son, set it up so we can record the A-Team. Sure, Dad.
Sure.
Yeah. No, but that's the point. No, but I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I just think that, I think kids adapt to the new technologies a lot quicker than we do, because they just accept that, okay, this is the way it is. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
There's other habits. I was listening to another podcast yesterday, and they were talking about the study that was done in Pisa, and it was I forget what they call it, but basically there's now a reaction. So if somebody picks up their mobile phone and they start actively doing stuff on it, right? Not just checking any messages and putting it down, but actually going and engaging with the phone. 50% of people around them will subconsciously just pick up their phone
the same
and stop.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. What is it?
Effect.
What is it
when
called?
When did that start happening?
What?
I think it's caterpillar. And the caterpillar effect, something like that.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. But
you're worried about your data. I'm just saying your habits have changed. No one knows.
Yeah. No, well, it's true. I mean, I suppose if you, think about pre-smartphone world where, You didn't have apps. You used your cell phone as a telephone. Maybe send an SMS. And like you think about it now, I mean, like I'm checking my phone like almost every 5 minutes kind of thing.
You serious?
No, well, I
Does-
exaggerate.
does-
but what
does
I'm
it,
saying
like,
is,
Keep sending a message.
no, but what I'm saying is that every now and again, periodically, you'll pick up your phone and check your notifications and go,
check
oh,
your
I've got a
Tinder's call.
okay, I've got a WhatsApp, and then, like you'll go into an app and lose 10 minutes. I mean, like you think,
TikTok.
okay, I'm gonna look at my email, and you think, oh, okay, but I see I got a notification on Facebook. And I'll go look there and I'll say, oh, okay, wait, but hang on a second. And then you, all of a sudden, you consumed. It might only be for 2 minutes, but you've like lost 2 minutes because you think, I see, okay, cool. Updates. Yeah. I suppose if you think about how much time you spend on that, I mean, I'm sure you can because your app, your phone will tell you that now. But, it's amazing how things change and we don't actually actively realize that they've changed.
So what was the verdict? If when you go to buy your next car, is it going to be electric? And if so, which one? And if it's not going to be electric, which one?
Well, I said neither.
You're not going to buy another car ever again.
No, I'm
You're
not going
just
to
gonna
buy.
wait
I'm
to
not going to
be
buy
taxed.
electric car. I'm not going to buy electric car.
You're just going to Uber.
Yeah, well, I've got
just gonna-
motorbikes. Got motorbikes. Still want to buy an old Land Cruiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Alec?
Electric.
But a Tesla.
If I can get it, yeah. If I can get it. If I can't get the Tesla, I'll most likely go for like electric Honda.
Yeah, I'm borderline Tesla, but I wouldn't mind the electric Jag as well. There's a few out there.
Have you
There's a
seen
few good. We've got a lot of options here.
Have you seen that little Honda electric car?
Yeah.
Looks quite funky, I must admit.
It looks like a Mini Cooper, dude.
Yeah.
I just worry they're going to
Looks
start
like
just
Max
making these
Verstappen.
cars look ugly.
Yeah.
Hey?
I
No,
don't-
but
I
that's the
don't-
thing. Why do they make them look so futuristic? Why can't they just make them look like a normal car?
Yeah, I look across the road here. So my neighbor across the road has got a what do they call it? i3? No, it's an electric
cool.
BMW, right?
Yeah.
And they've got these bloody hidden blue neon lights and strips, and their hubcaps are like just ridiculous.
Yes.
And it is made like a what do they call them? Prototype cars.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It doesn't look real. But yeah, they did that, and maybe that's what people want.
Yeah.
It's electric,
looks
so
pretty
therefore they've
cool.
got all these extra
Mm.
LEDs all over the place, so you can see it. I
Mm.
don't know.
See, there's a normal.
No, I like it that the likes of the traditional car manufacturers have kept their
kills it.
shapes and
Yeah.
their icon.
Yeah.
So for me it's like if I get an electric car, it would fit into the whole infrastructure of my place because I
Yeah.
got solar panels. I can charge it directly from the solar panels.
But you can never move house.
No, I could. I mean, solar tech is becoming more common.
Quite, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that in UK very soon a lot of the houses will have solar panels on them.
Well, there's been a government push for many years. They've subsidized the installations here, but it's still the return on investment for the kind of house that I have. It just wasn't there. I mean,
Yeah.
Even if I left all the lights on and everything running all the time just to generate a lot of consumption of power, of energy,
Mm-hmm.
I would still have a 10-year return on investment before it started making
Yeah.
money. And I'm like, am I going to be in this house for 10 years?
So for me, it makes sense from a perspective of like load shedding, power interruptions, and
Yeah,
the rising
sure.
cost of electricity. So it's like there's several factors. I mean, it's not just like one thing in terms of electricity cost and return on investment. For us, like the key problem is to have power in the first place.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Different environment, different challenges.
Plus, Joburg is very sunny. It's like solar makes sense in Johannesburg.
I quite like it. And look, as well, there's the technology is also evolving in those panels. Those panels are
Yeah.
lasting longer. They're not what's the word, degrading as fast as the ones from yesteryear. So it's getting better. Yeah. Yeah. Even in the UK where there's not as much sunshine, it's still very efficient. You're still getting load on cloudy days. It's good. Um, the cost needs to come down a bit.
Mm. Yeah, I think it was going to cost me, if I was to put solar here to run the house, it was going to cost me 200,000 rand.
No, that's too expensive.
But that was what it was.
Wow, that's cheaper than here.
Yeah. Because also
that's
the thing
cheaper
is,
than here, even with the government subsidies.
yeah, so they don't subsidize it here, and plus there was this thing floating around. There was a proposal made. They have tried to implement it in the Western Cape. Is a solar tax. So that if you've got a solar system, that you need to pay a tax on that.
Why?
Well,
because it's the taxman nicking revenues wherever they can. But the government hasn't provided stable, suitable power infrastructure at a cost effective.
And they don't allow you to feed back into the circuit. There's a whole lot of
you can't
problems.
feed back into the grid. Oh dear.
No.
Well,
not yet.
Yeah, it's something. It's something amiss. They've missed the point.
Yeah.
They can't sustain demand. You've got to decrease demand. They should be paying you, not just to top up, but just to incentivize you to start having less dependency on the grid, so they can sustain.
Yeah.
Power. So electric cars. That's just going to add to the problem.
It's true. That's true.
So is electric the way forward? Because I don't know if you covered this off already. Sorry.
I think pedal power is the way forward in South Africa. Yeah.
Okay.
Pedal power.
How clean is electricity anyway? Is the question for me.
So we generate bulk of our electricity from coal-fired power stations, about 90%.
It used to keep me in a job. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
a coal-fired power station, gigantic ones, they're super clean.
Really?
They cleaned at least 3 times a day. They've got to be clean. Yeah, I remember the acid rain around Witbank area. It was.
Did you guys get
good
acid
times.
Rain?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, because of the sulfur dioxide that was let up into the air.
So you could actually see the marks on your vehicle and stuff like that.
Well, I suppose over a long period of time, those kind of things were happening.
I think you would notice it on plants first. They start getting little
corrugated iron roofs and all that kind of stuff. Like IBR sheeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of stuff would get. Like, I mean, the place, it's like, if you looked at areas around the power station, that would be quite a common thing, is rusting of IBR sheeting.
Man, those things are supposed to be rust-proof.
Supposed to be, yeah. Galvanized. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, Lester, thanks for joining us. Catch you next week.
Do you want to know what day it is?
Today is Saturday.
Is it?
The 19th of June. The 19th of June. Can you believe we're almost into July?
Start your Christmas shopping now.
It's International Flip-Flop Day.
It is.
It's International Thong Day for the rest of the world.
What is it? What is it?
Yeah, let's. Okay, I was going to say it's Free BSD Day, but the thing that got me it's actually. Well, let me put it to you. In 1978, this cartoon or this comic strip appeared in 41 newspapers, and that was its first day. And it currently holds the Guinness World Record for the world's most syndicated comic strip.
Dilbert.
To this day in 1978.
Dilbert.
Dilbert, yeah.
Is that it?
I think Dilbert came a bit later.
Yeah,
but it's not Dilbert.
This is not Dilbert. In 1978.
Yeah.
Snoopy, Peanuts.
Yeah, that was
No,
before
that
78.
was before, yeah. Ah,
It just amazed me. Yeah, it's been this long. So it's been 78, man. That was a long time ago. And it appeared in 41 newspapers on that first day.
okay.
It is Garfield.
Oh, Garfield.
Today is International Garfield
Garfield
Day,
Day.
Yeah.
the day
Wow.
of the lazy cat and
Uh-huh.
lasagna.
Yes. Huh.
That is so
I
cool.
should have had some lasagna ready for today.
Well, you two have a lazy cat, so it's
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also on this day in 2002, does the name Steve Fawcett ring a bell?
Steve Fawcett.
Yeah.
Wait, does he make taps or something?
No, not Fawcett.
No, Steve Fawcett, I don't know. It don't ring a ding ding
On
bell.
this day, Steve Fawcett takes off on his record-breaking balloon flight around the world.
Oh,
Oh, I
He
remember
did he
went
that.
make
around-
it?
I think the guy
Yes,
made
he
it.
did. Yeah, he did.
Well done.
American guy lifted off from Western Australia, went round, first solo flight around the world on any aircraft. On July 3rd, he returned. So
So-
that is not. It took him a couple of weeks.
But he spent those couple of weeks in the weather balloon.
Yes, he travelled 33,195 k's
That is amazing.
in a hot air balloon before
So
he touched down again in Australia.
didn't land in the hole in 2 weeks.
Correct.
So he had enough food with him and like
Toilet
Yeah, I mean,
paper.
he couldn't have known how long he was going to be up there. I mean, it's probably all like astronaut food, right? Freeze dried, freeze packed. Because I think he was at altitude where it was going to be cold.
yeah.
It's not your traditional wicker basket, I don't think. It's a bit more developed.
No, it's one of those long, those balloons that Mr. Virgin Active, no Virgin Active, Mr. Virgin, Virgin Galactic, him,
Richard Branson,
yeah,
Sir
Richard
Richard Branson.
Sir Richard
yes.
Branson, yes.
Yes, yeah.
All right,
Is
what
he
else happened on
also-
this day?
Sorry.
In South Africa history, 1913 was when South Africa implemented the Natives Land Act, which was the official. We touched on it a few weeks ago, where 10% of the country was designated as the native reserve area, and that was in force until apartheid dismantled it in the 1990s. So
Yo.
I mean that was 70, 80 years, right?
Yes,
That's a
that's a-
long,
long
that's
time,
a long
yeah.
time.
yeah.
Mad history. All right, whose birthday is it today?
Not
Boris
mine.
Johnson.
Hey,
Boris
Boris
Johnson.
Johnson.
Serious?
Yeah.
He's a June baby.
Ah.
He's a June baby and a newlywed.
This is the whole thing. We were supposed to come out of lockdown on the 21st, on Monday. And we all thought, well, it was around Boris Johnson's birthday, so he's having a little party. He wants to make sure he can have friends round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all gone out the window this week. We've got another 4-week extension.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
there is.
Sure.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
old, same old.
things are also tightening up here in South
So
Africa.
we went up one level. We went to level 3.
Mm.
Cases are spiking. We might beat our previous record of the second wave. So
I don't think that's the point of trying to beat the records.
yeah, yeah,
Definitely
not
not.
in a good way. No.
Mm.
That's a shame. That's a
Can
shame.
we, Lester? We just at the beginning of the show, we're thinking we're missing out on the Trumpism of the day.
Trumpism of the day.
Do you have it handy
Right.
somewhere?
Yeah, okay. Let's find the Trumpism. All right, so this is Trump ratting on about a protester. He says that protester has got a serious weight problem. Go home, start exercising. Get him out of here, please. He's got a bigger problem than I do. He's got a bigger problem than all of us.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Donald. Yeah.
Okay, and officially Father's Day makes you a good American is actually the one for this weekend. Happy
Yeah.
Father's Day to all, including my worst and most vicious critics, of which there are fewer and fewer. This is a fantastic time to be an American. Keep America great. What the hell's it got to do with that? Father's
That
Day
is-
and keep America great.
That is just so weird. It's just so random.
Keep America great. I mean, this is Twitter, brilliant.
Twitter.
Jeez, that must be the
Hang on, what time of
sexiest.
morning was that?
That must be the
later than usual,
sexiest
5 to
electric
9.
car I've ever seen.
You serious? Is it the Citroen?
I don't know. What car is that?
That's weird.
Jeez, why do
But
they look
anyways.
like everything comes out of a cartoon?
Andrew is still obsessing about looking at the different shapes of electric
But he's never going to
vehicle.
buy an electric car.
No,
Why
I
is he
was
looking?
just
It's
no.
like-
Actually, I was
Until
looking.
next week. Next week you'll see.
No, I was just looking at that Honda that they brought out because you said that you would possibly get a
The
Honda.
promises of electric vehicles seem endless. Using electricity generated by wind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking at I mean, this little Honda's cute.
It's
about
cute.
it. It's cute.
Electric cars are starting to look like functional box cars out of some sci-fi
Well, it
music
looks like
movie.
yeah. Have you seen this electric? the
It's
Honda-
actually a UK
Honda E.
version. Yeah.
Honda E.
They have quite a few of them in the UK.
Mm.
Honda
I see-
E.
Yeah, and I see that they're looking at bringing out the. Where's this one that I was looking at? The sport one.
The car of the future. It's called the Honda E.
I mean, here's the Roadster.
That looks
Lovely.
cool. That looks cool.
The Roadster looks pretty dope.
Dope.
Yeah, but they got to do something about the sound. I'm sorry.
They're going to
You
do
know
something
what
about
would
the
be
sound.
also cool
But
about
you're starting to think now that the normal fossil fuel carbon engines, they need to fix their dashboards. If you look at the setup of the dashboards in electric cars, like magic.
Yeah.
magic?
that's
Yeah,
what we
no, I
need.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it won't be long before we'll have on-screen displays on our windscreen. I mean, that's now
with the heads
being
up.
tested.
The heads up
yeah.
thing. Just
Yeah.
don't wear polarized sunglasses. Because then you can't see the heads up.
They're thinking about that
Yes.
because they've got
'Cause-
the same thing with fighter jets, where they've got polarized screens as well.
Mm.
So
And they got polarized glasses.
Well, I don't think they're wearing their polarized sunglasses when they're flying.
my
them.
point
no,
is,
no,
that
no, the
technolo-
helmet-
It's
the
probably
helmet got
technology here to help
polarized
this
glass.
thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's
They've
see you
probably
say.
got the technology already tested.
Yeah, no, sure. Well, I mean, the trick of the matter is that the one screen must be orientated this way and the other screen must be orientated this way. Then you don't have a problem with the polarization. Because so when they first brought out the heads-up display in the 3 Series BM here, I went and test drove the car, and I was wearing my polarized sunglasses. And the woman was talking to me and she was raving about the heads-up display. And I said, well, what are you talking about? And I couldn't see the heads-up display because I was wearing my sunglasses. I could only see it if I took my glasses off or if I drove like this.
That is funny.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Right. I
On
think
that happy note,
we've like
we're off that.
made some lemonade out of some early lemons.
That is awesome. And I'm glad Lester could join us as well.
Yeah,
Me
absolutely.
too. Yes, I
Yeah.
cut through all that traffic. It's good.
So why were you late, dude? You haven't given us an explanation.
Yeah, we haven't got time. I mean, I can hear the music coming. It's time to wrap up, haven't we? Are we still live?
I think so.
We're still alive.
Not for long though.
Well, it's a long story. It started on the 19th of June, 2021, which I'm still thinking is 2020 because think about it, the Euro 2020 is actually happening now. The 2020 Olympics is happening this year, so it can't
I
be
think he's going to
2021.
get cancelled.
The
He's gonna
World
get
2020 World Cup cricket is now happening in 2021, and so it can't be 2020. But is it? It's 2021.
Do you think like 20 years from now, in 2021 will be like a missed year?
No, I think 2020 will.
2020 is.
Well, I suppose not if you're having events that are 2020 that are being run in 2021.
Then
Because
it's
then
gonna
they
be
will.
like
It's
trick
going to be
question.
confusing because they're going to say, "Oh yeah, the 2020 event will actually happen in 2021."
Yeah.
I need to look into this because I think there is an athletics a 2021 World Athletics Championship, and it has to be happening about the same time as the 2020 Olympics. So how on earth are they going to write these on their record books?
I don't know.
So if somebody breaks a world record at the Olympics, is it going to be 2021 in the 2020 Olympics?
Crazy, yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
I think it would be so cool, like if somebody breaks the 2021 world record in the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, the 2021 World
It'll be
Championship.
like, dude went back to the past and broke the future record.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
I was going to say, I'm just going to have to go watch Back to the Future now.
It's
because-
it's now come to the West End in London as a show,
Oh, right.
and they sound. I've heard the adverts on the radio. That they sound like those two, the professor and Marty. They sound exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. On that happy note, let's
Is it
See you next
time for
week.
the weekend?
see you next
Have a
week.
good weekend,
Hopefully.
everyone.
Hopefully. Well, with my luck, probably.
Yes.
If
Maybe,
there's no
maybe not.
technical issues and
Yes.
traffic problems.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll
And-
catch you next week.